Hey, so I have a new podcast that's called Why Are You You? The question is, why am I doing this podcast? We are in a world brimming with countless stories and perspectives. And the question is, what shapes our unique identities? Is it the choices we make, or is it the invisible hand of destiny guiding our path? So, throughout this podcast, we will embark on a journey uncovering the profound and the mundane and exploring the very essence of what it means to be human, all in pursuit of an answer to the timeless question, why are you you? Let's start. So, Assalamu alaikum. Today I have a new guest. His name is Muhammad Lambat. I think it's right? Lambat.
Yeah.
He has his page is called Muslim Investing, and he invests in stocks and in various types, even in Bitcoin, right? Do you do Bitcoin and crypto too?
Mm-hmm.
And his page was interesting, so I messaged him, "Why are you not coming to the podcast?" And he accepted. So before we begin, wouldn't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Assalamu alaikum. So I'm Muhammad, and I run a page called Muslim Investing where I talk about Islamic finance and halal investing and help others understand that it's not so difficult to start investing. There's a lot of barriers and myths around Islamic finance and halal investing, and my goal is to kind of break those down and make it easier for people to start. So I've been running Muslim Investing for about 3 years now. Um, I graduated as an engineer, but then moved to finance, and now I'm in content creation.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. I wrote some questions and they're far away from investing. I didn't choose questions about investing because there are so many videos out there on YouTube and on social media about how to invest.
In that, when we first moved to Malaysia, it was like all our family and friends were back in the UK, and we were trying to adjust to this new environment. And um, yeah, we weren't, as we got older and as we lived longer in Malaysia, we didn't feel like we were British enough to be British. But then we also weren't Malaysian. So it was kind of an interesting dynamic. I'm also ethnically Indian. So moving around, meeting other Indians, for example, in Malaysia, they didn't have the same background as I, and they hadn't traveled. And it was just, yeah, I didn't really fit in with the Indians, fit in with the Malaysians. And when I went back home, I didn't really fit in with the British people as well, because I had traveled so much and experienced so many different things that, yeah, I didn't really fit into any box, and I still feel that to this day. I don't really know where home is. Home is really just where my family are. I don't really tie it to one particular place.
Interesting. Second question is, how's your relationship with your parents?
Yeah, so considering so my parents live in Turkey at the moment. I haven't lived in the same country as my parents since I was 21. So for the past 4 or 5 years now. We are pretty close considering that, and even more so now that I've got a daughter. So there's many frequent FaceTime calls and WhatsApp calls and things like that. We'll be hopefully seeing them soon in about a month or so. My sister, who lives in Dublin, is giving birth to a child, so hopefully we'll be seeing them there. And then the plan is to go and live in Turkey for 2 months to spend some time with them.
Did you have a close relationship? I know, like, since 21, but before 21, are you closer to your mom or to your father?
I feel like I'm equally as close. In some ways close to my mum with certain topics of discussion. But when it comes to more like finance or business type topics, then I would say I'm close to my dad. But I can't really say I'm close to one more than the other. It'd be very difficult for me to answer.
That question, I think this is good for you or made for you. How's your relationship with money?
Yes, I have a pretty good relationship with money. Growing up, I learned a lot about saving and spending and like the value of money, especially through my parents, my dad working as an entrepreneur, but also the fact that we lived in different countries. So like understanding what different currencies meant. So like in Malaysia, we had ringgits. In the UK, we had pounds. So kind of understanding what you could buy in different countries and kind of associating the value with different things. I also, at a young age, I started a few side hustles. So I learned how to make money. But then I kind of was looking at other avenues of earning revenue and I looked into passive income and that's how I came across investing. So since the age of 17, I've been investing and that's kind of something I've been doing continuously and learning more about finance and money. And yeah, I would say I have a pretty good relationship with money.
So you got your relationship with money from your father.
Yeah, I would say a lot of business lessons and overall finance lessons we definitely learned from my dad. Yeah.
What about your mother? It's just far away from the topic of money, or
No, I mean, my when it came to like finances in my family, my dad would be the one to spend money and kind of do those bigger investments, but my mom was the one who kind of managed our budgets and the day-to-day expenses. She was very big on that. So taking lessons from both of them is kind of how I kind of manage my money. So I have definitely picked up skills from both of them.
what are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of making the wrong decisions and having it affect my family. Um, I'm also afraid of public speaking.
Interesting. Why of public speaking if you're a content creator? If you're just, like, is this
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know it's kind of conflicting, but so I'm an introvert naturally, and I find that speaking to a camera or speaking to smaller groups of people, I find that
mm,
a lot easier than speaking to a crowd. So I can have a very good discussion with two, three people, but as soon as you put me on a stage or in front of a crowd, um, yeah, I just freeze, and I'm terrible at speaking in crowds. That's definitely something I'm trying to work on, and putting myself out there and giving myself more opportunities to kind of get past that and get better at speaking to a crowd.
if you were not afraid of anything, what would you do?
So I would probably speak more in public if I wasn't afraid of
Mm.
public speaking. That's probably I feel like that's a really good skill to have to be able to speak to crowds and things like that, especially with the kind of work I do, talking about finance and investing. It's great what I do in that I speak in an online way, but um, it would be useful to also be able to speak in crowds and to speak locally to communities in person. I think would be very useful, and that's something I would like to do more of. But if I wasn't afraid, then I would like go all out.
If money is guaranteed for life, for you and your family and your next generation after you, but the condition is you have to choose a job, what would it be?
I think it'd be something that would help other Muslim entrepreneurs grow their businesses. So part of what I want to do as I go along with my journey of finance and investing is give back to the community and like help other Muslims grow their startups and things like that. And I feel like I have a lot of useful piece of advice that could help others who are on that journey. And I feel like I would do that. So not having to worry about money, I could just do that full time and it wouldn't be an issue.
But you're doing it.
But now it's still a concern of money, and I'm still tied to like restrictions with how I do things. But I don't exactly help Muslim startups and like grow their businesses. I'm more just focused on the investing side.
I'm still interested why you chose the way of investing. I was influenced by my parents because they're investing in properties around the
Hmm.
in different countries, and then I was got traumatized sometimes from people around investing. And why did you choose this? Like I'm going to ask you this at the last, and why are you you?
Hmm.
Um, but still on my mind. Like, why did you choose it? Muhammad in one word.
I had to think about this, and I think the best word to describe me would be adaptable. And I think that's because of the fact that I've traveled so much and like been put in different situations, and I've just been forced to adapt. So I think adaptable would be Muhammad in one word.
What's the best moment in your life?
Oh, seeing the birth of my daughter. Without a doubt.
Any regrets?
Um, so I mentioned earlier that I did a degree in engineering, specifically mechatronic engineering. Um, and I think that I regret kind of doing that degree, although I know if I hadn't done that degree, I wouldn't have probably been where I am now. But looking back, it wasn't something that I was passionate about, and I could have chosen something a bit more in line with the kind of interests I had at the time.
And many people choose a degree in which they don't work in. I'm a dentist. I do work in it, but took me a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So the last question is, why are you you? Why are you the Muhammad Lambat? Because everyone is unique in its own way, and you chose investing, and everything has a consequence. So, and I ask you about your kind of history. So, what led you till now to investing, content creating, and everything as a summary?
That's a good question. I mean, it's a difficult question. But I think obviously because of the experiences I've had, it's kind of made me the way I am. So like after I had done my engineering degree, I realized that it wasn't something I was passionate about, and so I kind of did some soul searching and um, got into investing after that point, and I was like, this is my passion, and this is what I enjoy doing. And then I started Muslim investing with that. I wanted a platform that helped other people who were in a similar situation to me who wanted to invest and didn't know that they could do it in a halal way. So I created content with that. I never thought that that would be what I would be doing today. That was kind of just something I started out on the side. And I think starting that really shifted my mindset and the way I do things. And that's kind of made me who I am.
A great ending. I don't have anything else to say. I think we're done. Do you want to say anything else before we end?
No, I mean, thank you for having me on and for reaching out. And these were some very interesting questions, and it definitely made me reflect on myself as well, which has been really cool.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Assalamu
Bye.
alaikum.